G'day guys, welcome to another Ergo ecosystem highlight. And today I have MrStahlfelge. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, all right. Well, before we kick things off, we just have to sort of put this to bed. How do you pronounce your name?
It's Mr. Stahlfelge.
Mr.
Um,
Stahlfelge.
yeah, Mr. Stahlfelge. It's the name for steel wheel in German because I refuse to get alloy wheels on my car. My friends gave me this name.
Ah, nice. I like it. All right, no worries. Well, thank you very much for clarifying that. We'll have to get that word out to the ecosystem so no one else trips up on it. All right, well, let's kick things off. You are the developer for the Ergo mobile wallets and the desktop wallet now. Would you just give us a bit of just a brief overview of your development career?
Yeah, I'm started developing very early, with 12 years, and then I knew that I will follow that path and go into a professional career. Made it through school just with this target before me, and yeah, I'm now professional developing for 15 years, and after 10 years in the business, I decided to go into the mobile route and became an Android developer. So now for 5 years.
Yep.
Yeah, and last year I started with the mobile wallet for Ergo.
Yeah, well, that just sort of drags me into my next question. How did you actually sort of get involved with blockchain and then ultimately finding Ergo?
That's by coincidence. Of course, I knew about Bitcoin for a long time. It's around for more than 10 years now.
Yep.
But here in the Central Europe, the currency is stable. I decided back in the time that I not understanding what's the functionality of Bitcoin, so I dismissed it.
Yep.
And yeah, then in the big bull run of 2018, I dismissed it again because I decided that now I'm too late.
Yep.
And my problem was last year in January that my GPU died, or it did not die. I needed a better one.
Yep.
And so I had to buy a graphics card, and this was very difficult.
Yeah, we
I
all know that sort of the start of the bull run and Ethereum profits going through the roof. And to find cards was near impossible.
Yeah, I spent around 2 months in Discord servers, and then I got my 3060.
Yep.
And yeah, when I got it, then I decided, okay, I need to try mining because now I have this card that I spent a lot of work and money for.
Yep.
And yeah,
Try
I
and
discovered.
recoup some of those costs.
Yeah, I don't think that will work out, but I decided just to try what's the thing of mining. And yeah, Argo was one of the proof of work coins that was mineable.
Yep.
So I came in and checked it out, liked the community and the idea behind Ergo much, but there was no mobile wallet.
Yep.
I was an Android developer, and Android is developed with Java, and Ergo had an Java SDK, Ergo AppKit. So
Yep.
I decided that's a
So be
task
it.
for me.
I often say this as well, like Ergo has this sort of gravitational pull that just brings in like-minded people. So I think that's really sort of like the core of the community as well. And then the likes of yourself who have the skills to be able to develop like a mobile wallet solution. So obviously you kick things off on the Android side, but then also you made it dual platform as well, being able to run that on iOS.
Yeah, that was later. After I published the mobile wallet, Ergo Foundation approached me and said they want to pay me for further work. because at the beginning it was just some kind of miner's wallet. It had no features for tokens, just for the Ergo coin itself.
Yep.
And Ergo Foundation liked my work and basically hired me. So they also asked what I can do about the iOS wallet. And of course, I had some background. I made games on Android and iOS before, so I knew a technology that was able to cross-compile the Java SDK to iOS, and that's how the iOS wallets make.
So from a developer's point of view, what do you sort of prefer developing on iOS or Android?
Oh, yeah. I'm just much more familiar with Android.
Yep.
I have no joy making the iOS UI. Yeah, Ergo Foundation hired me, and some parts of the work is fun, some parts of the work is work, and I would say the iOS UI is work.
All right, we'll just leave it at that then. Oh, it's a welcome addition actually as well, because when I entered the space, there was no mobile wallet solution. Obviously, there was just kind of Yoroi at the time, and then now we've got multiple wallet solutions, which is fantastic to see across the board.
Mhm.
Um, so another one that you sort of developed as well is the you've taken it one step further and you've actually ported it to the desktop.
Yeah. That was, I thought a lot about it. Because I already made the iOS wallet, we have a good separation in the project. The business layer is separated from Android and iOS, and so it can be used for the desktop as well. I just had to make the UI for desktop, which is more joy. It is easy to do on desktop.
Yep.
And yeah, we had some discussions if it's actually needed, because we have other wallets on desktop.
Yep.
Some people just don't like browser extension wallets, but we already have other desktop wallets as well. The thing is, the mobile wallet is to show off some of Ergo's features, and we have cold wallet feature, ErgoPay, and now I'm also working on a debt plugin system. And I can't make any of the other wallet developers to integrate it. I can just recommend them to do it. But yeah, when they don't do it, then they don't do it. That's the background of this new desktop wallet. I can build the stuff myself, and
Start to
therefore
showcase those features.
yeah, and bring it to desktop so that desktop users can use it. For example, the cold wallet feature, until now you always needed two phones, but when actually a phone is not needed, you can also use an offline desktop computer. In theory, now you can do it in practice with this new wallet.
Yeah, the cold wallet feature is actually one of my favorite things in the ecosystem. I've been using it for a long time now. Can't even think, probably 12 months or 6 months longer. It's been a long time anyway.
Mhm.
I think it's fantastic, and I love the ability to be able to use a mobile device where you have a large screen. You can read the details throughout the transaction, and you're not sort of pressing the fiddly little buttons on a hardware device as well. That's just my preference. I think it's fantastic, and it's really sort of underutilized. Can you just give us a rundown of sort of how that works, like the cold wallet feature on the mobile device, and then sort of how that operates sort of in practice as well on the desktop?
Yeah, the core idea of the cold wallet feature is just to give the device that has stored the keys, your private keys, no internet connection. Because when there's no internet connection, no one can steal your private keys.
Yeah.
So what has to be done for that to work, that you can sign actual transactions that need to be built with an internet connection and of course submitted to the network with an internet connection, you have to transfer the unsigned transaction to this cold device, and then it signs it. Then you have a signed transaction, so you have to transfer it back to a connected device in order to submit it to the Ergo network. So this concept already exists for some Bitcoin wallets. I've read about it, and there are solutions doing this stuff by file transfer. So you have a USB device that you use to store the devices and store the files, and between the code and the connected device transferred. And yeah, you usually also transfer stuff to mobile devices with the QR code reader. So it was just a try for me to see if that works out, if you can use the QR codes. It's technologically possible.
Yep.
We have had some difficulties. That was the experiences phase, that when the QR codes are too dense, some mobile phones have problems to read it.
Yep.
In theory, QR code can contain 4,000 characters, but we found out that some cheap cameras or cheap software on mobile phones have problems when it exceeds 400 characters. So that's why later came a new feature. Now you can change the resolution of the QR code for the cold wallet feature. Maybe you've seen it when you wondered.
No, I haven't noticed that.
Then you have a good device that can scan.
With the glasses. One of the features that I love is that QR code feature as well, because the cold wallet device itself is essentially air gapped. There's no cables plugging in. There's no sort of there's no way for anything to get into it once it's in airplane mode.
Yeah. So you asked about desktop. It's working the same. The desktop wallet can access the webcam. Now we are also in an experience phase, so we have to test out how it works. I have an expensive webcam that does not work for it. I have a cheap webcam that works. It has something to do how the webcam is focused. When you are, most webcams don't focus like a camera, so they have problems focusing. So in order to make it work even without a webcam, you can paste the QR code from the clipboard in the desktop wallet. So you can also make a screenshot and then transfer it by a USB device and paste it into the desktop wallet.
Yeah, that's interesting. You've obviously got your the desktops out at the moment for testing. It's one thing I actually have to do is jump on there and give that a whirl, and I'll provide you some feedback with my experience on that one.
Yeah, looking forward to your feedback.
Yeah, so that's the wallet sort of solution, like the wallet encompassing. So you did mention ErgoPay earlier. Do you want to give us a rundown on what that actually is and how that's implemented in the wallets themselves?
Yeah. ErgoPay is a protocol to let dApps build transactions and then sign it by the user. Not every transaction on Ergo is just sending from a P2PK address to another P2PK address. We have smart contracts on Ergo. These smart contracts need to build or need transactions to be built in a certain way. And the dApps using the smart contracts know exactly how the transaction has to be built. That's what a wallet can't do, because a wallet can't know about every debt in the ecosystem. So with ErgoPay, it is a protocol that lets the debt pre-build the transaction, transfer it unsigned to the wallet of the user. Then the user can check what the transaction is actually doing and confirm it. Then the wallet signs it and submits it to the network. Yeah, that's ErgoPay. It's basically a debt connector, but not restricted to be used within the web browser, but can be used on all platforms, on mobile and on desktop wallets that are not browser extension wallets. And of course, it could be implemented in browser extension wallets as well. I'm already trying to convince Captain Nemo to do it.
Oh, I'll have to get into the Telegram and give them a bit of a word up and get them to implement it. You did mention P2PK, so I just want to give us everyone just a description of what that actually is, like the difference between a P2PK and a pay to script.
Yeah, P2PK is just a wallet with a private key. All private wallets that are just users' wallets are P2PK wallets. It's named this way because there are no smart contracts involved. So P2PK is just a wallet that is guarded by a private key. The other is P2S, pay to script. So these are guarded with a smart contract, and P2PK is the easier guard, and that's what's handled by your wallet. And normally, when you transfer tokens or ergos between two persons, only P2PK is involved.
Yeah, more simplified transaction. One thing else you did mention a little bit earlier as well is the sort of the DApp environment being able to plug into the wallets. I believe you're working on that Mosaic system. Can you give everyone a bit of a rundown on what Mosaic is, please?
Yeah. Mosaic is a plugin system for dApps to present our own user interface in the wallets. It is a feature that was much requested by users and by dApp developers. For example, users asked that they wanted to exchange Sigma USD into ERG within the mobile wallet. And dApp developers approached me that they want to show an own UI in the wallet. It's a problem for me normally because I don't want to get the wallet feature creep. I can't integrate every dApp around there. It would be, it wouldn't be user-friendly anymore when the options list is overwhelming for new users. So I thought about it. I can't implement all features just because of the reason that I don't know all features. So the dApp developers had to do it themselves. So I thought about it, and what I came up with is Mosaic. It is a solution to show a simple UI within the wallet. It is not as feature-rich and fancy as real websites, but it is by intention. So the Mosaic UI integrate very well into the mobile apps. It is nearly finished as software gets. It is ready to use. It's maybe the better term. I already made an example app with TokenJay for the HUSD exchange. It can be already tried with the desktop wallet I made a pre-release for. I hope we will soon get it into the mobile wallet on Google Play. But for that, at first, my code must be audited, and I worked 2 months for it. So this will take some time.
Yeah, most definitely. And obviously, with the wallets, you want to have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. You don't want to sort of leave anything open. And then, yeah, having everything ordered as well. Just have that peace of mind as well.
Mhm.
So, in regard to Mosaic, is that like a third-party plugin system, or do you have to sort of implement that yourself?
I implemented just a kind of executor in the wallet. The third parties, the dev developers will develop the UI itself. I don't have to do anything now. That
Yep.
was my target. Um, I will have to do something when they find bugs or need more features. But for now, they can do it on their own. I hope that some web developers will try out because I'm sure there will be more to do.
Yep.
Yeah, but the idea is that it is a third-party plugin system, so that users can just integrate dApps into the wallet that I never heard of.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing as well. If the demand is there, then the dApp developer themselves should sort of make that for the end user. It benefits everyone.
Mhm.
So you just mentioned a little side hustle that you've got going on as well, like a side project just to sort of do some proof of concepts, but then also just have a little bit of a play. You did mention TokenJay. Just there's a couple of you've got a P2 an escrow service and implemented the Age USD protocol as well.
Yeah. Yeah, TokenJay is a spare time project that I'm doing outside of my work for the Ergo Foundation. It is to show off some features. For example, ErgoPay. We have a kind of chicken or egg problem
Yeah,
that ErgoPay was finished in January or February, and there are very few dApps using it. And users didn't even know about it and how it works, so they can't give requests to
yeah,
dev developers to implement it. And yeah, that's why I started TokenJay. That's showing off the new features so that users and dev developers have an example how things are actually meant to work. So on TokenJay, you have an HUSD swap that works with ErgoPay, and yeah, of course, Mosaic is coming. I'm the first implementing the HUSD swap in Mosaic to integrate it into the wallet.
yeah. That's fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, there's also the escrow service that you mentioned. You can make a person-to-person token sale, trustless on TokenJay. That's the services that are for the users at the moment. There are also some uh, REST APIs for developers, the token verification service, HUSD price service can be used by developers when needed.
Yeah, I've actually utilized both services, and I think they're fantastic. Being able to use ErgoPay as well, it's so smooth and fast. I was very pleasantly surprised with my interactions with that one. So, yeah, the more people who integrate ErgoPay, I'll be a happy camper from this side of things.
No, thank you.
All right, that's sort of covering everything. So just want to sort of touch on like a personal sort of perspective as well. Is sort of how do you see the Ergo ecosystem building out at the current rate? What sort of excites you that's going on in the ecosystem?
Oh, there are so many things going on. I'm not sure if I even have a full overview. At the moment, I think GrabSwap is very interesting, but I'm always viewing from my developer's perspective. The GrabSwap guys
Yep.
already read through all the Mosaic documentation and said that they want to have and want to develop on it. So of
Yep.
course I'm excited about that.
Yep.
I'm always interested in reading about Night Owl. I'm not the guy that spends money in a casino, but their UI looks fantastic, and I'm really eager to see what they come up with when it's going
Yeah,
online.
most definitely. That's one thing that's I think it's going to put a lot of eyes on Ergo and then Night Owl itself. The guys have put a lot of work into it. They've got a big team working behind the scenes, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be fun. The cool thing about that also is having the third-party plugins. So a third-party game developer can sort of plug into their framework. I think that's a cool little feature that they've got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
then, of course, we have the 5.0
yeah.
activation that's already live in testnet. That's is a big change. That's really good to have. When you developing smart contracts, you often come to a wall with the costing in
Yep.
4.0. So this is a big thing internally, but users won't notice much of the changes.
Yeah, so yeah, that's swapping from from or going to the just in time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, we need to sort of do a little bit more sort of explanation around that and get the miners involved because we're doing a soft fork, and yeah, just explain to the whole sort of process to everyone with that node upgrade for 5.0.
Yeah.
Yep, no worries, mate. Well, we've been sort of talking now. I think we've covered a lot of things in regards to sort of your development in the ecosystem. It's been a pleasure talking. I hope everyone sort of starts utilizing these features and starts providing some more feedback as well.
Yeah, looking forward to every feedback from developers, from users. Always eager to hear things. This is a good time to say the Ergo Wallet has a GitHub repo where everyone can make issues with enhancement suggestions and vote for the already open issues there. So always glad to have some feedback and suggestions.
Yeah, and that's also an important point as well, being open source.
Yeah, that's one of the core features of Ergo that I was attracted to. If it is not open source, or if it had not that open source approach, I probably wasn't part of Ergo now.
Yeah, well, we've just seen what's happened with a closed source wallet, and yeah, hasn't been pretty, has it?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, a lot of people have lost a lot of money.
Yeah, and not only that, from a developer's perspective, again, having something closed source is often this is you can lose everything, all the work when it is closed source. When the developer drops his work on a closed source project, it will soon not work anymore on new operating system versions. When something is open source, even when the original developer dropped the project, someone else can step up and continue the work so that it is not lost. That is one of the main advantages of open source for me.
Yeah, that's huge as well. You're not sort of people aren't writing code twice. They can jump in and see how you've sort of implemented something, and just may not just copy the code, but just to be able to sort of pick your ideas on how you sort of tackled a project. But then also, like you mentioned, if someone does step away from the project, then it's not going to die, and they can jump on and take it on board, or even just fork it and take it in their own direction as well. It's the beauty of open source.
Yeah.
Yep, no dramas, mate. Well, it's been a pleasure talking once again. I hope it's been an insightful video for everyone tuning in. And MrStahlfelge, thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Take care. Have a good one.